Hey everybody, it's Dr. Lenny Roberts here with my friend Elizabeth Liddell, who is a acupuncturist and has a vast array of talents. She's over in Mt Airy section of Philadelphia. But Elizabeth, welcome to our little chat here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you do it?
Okay, well, I am an acupuncturist and also I'm an herbal medicine. I'm an herbalist of Chinese medicine, and I'm also a teacher of Chinese medicine. So I'm able to teach in Glenside at the One Institute. Other acupuncturists are learning how to use herbal medicine if they didn't learn it in their initial study. So, and I've recently moved my dispensary since the office is closed for acupuncture. I've moved the dispensary to my home, which is in Wissahickon area, where I now have a porch pickup situation. I'm also doing hand delivery of medicinals and shipping occasionally as well. So I'm doing telemedicine interviews. People are sending me pictures of their tongues on their cell phone so I can do a clinical assessment of what might suit them exactly. And I'm working on both the phases of prevention and all the other things that happen while we're being humans, digestive things. I'm still taking care of. In fact, it's very important right now to take care of yourself and do the self-care that makes your immune system strong. And I'm counseling people with that. And I'm putting together what I call amazing, because one of the things that keeps people from being able to do herbal medicine sometimes is time, because the old school way of doing it, which is what I'm doing at home, is cooking these medicinals and then making your own decoction. And so I have that in stock, which is really a fun way. You just and it's inexpensive. You get a little bag of stuff and you cook it for the week, and you're drinking that through the week. I also have things in liquid form and in powder form and in pill form for people who can't. But I try to stock up everything people might need for right now. So that's the way I've been pivoting to help my community, especially healthcare workers or anyone with asthma or anyone who's immune compromised in any way during this time.
Awesome.
So
Very cool. So can you give us, obviously, you're a phenomenal acupuncturist. I know we've had some mutual patients, and I've had the privilege of seeing you myself, and phenomenal set of tools in your toolbox. What would you say, as you've pivoted, what are the top three things that you see now? Is it stress, anxiety? What's tell us a little bit more. A lot of our viewers may not have ever been to an acupuncturist, let alone an herbalist. So just could you give us a little bit more on that? That'd be helpful.
So no matter what tool I'm using, whether it's exercise, dietary therapy, herbal medicine, acupuncture, acupressure, the main thing is to say, okay, what is this person's constitution? Because it's going to be different from other people's. What gives them optimal health? Do they run hot? Do they run cold? Things like that can show me on their tongue. Do they have something brewing? Is there heat? We say heat in the lungs. Anytime someone's coughing or someone has nausea or something like that, we say that there's a counterflow of energy in the body. So things are coming up that should be going down, basically. So I can give people acupressure points, different kinds of approaches to that, different, especially right up in here. There's actually points you're not allowed to do on a pregnant woman because they move things down so strongly. Okay. So, and everyone I think knows the point for nausea that they use for like 2 fingers up between that right here. That's a really good one for stress and feeling of tension in the chest. A lot of people, because of course you're hearing all day long about this virus, and so everyone's becoming a bit hyper vigilant about everything they feel in their body, and any pain or weirdness is all of a sudden can get us to a panic place. So self-care, like I've been sending patients yoga nidra videos, which is like a guided meditation that you can do. Just I've been doing my traction, traction. I'm doing my traction. Sometimes with all these webinars that we're listening to, I'm like, okay, that'll be an opportunity to get my traction in and listen to the webinar. Maybe make a little. That is
gold star when I see you in person.
Thank you. Well, it's really helping because, we're sitting a lot, we're doing this a lot. So really trying to figure out, how to eat well so I have enough energy. When you think about postural issues, you need chi, you need energy to have good posture. Because when we slump is when we're tired. So when we've used all of our chi of the day, when I start to slump, I say, okay, I either need a nap, I need to have a snack, I need something to get my energy up, or I just need to take a little break and do some breathing and things like that. Because, if we're just constantly going, and those of us who are working from home now, we have to have a shut off time, because otherwise I could just keep working, thankfully I have people here that are like, Elizabeth, come down for dinner, stop working, and I think that setting those limits and being able to feel in your body what's happening, like, oh, I'm sinking a little bit, I'm starting to slump a little bit. But really, when you think about what you need to have a really nice posture that Dr. Letty teaches us to do, you need energy. So we do a point on the top of the head. And so if you put your hand on the top of your head and you feel that warmth coming up at the top of your head, right at the top, you can feel warmth into your palm. And that is a point that we use to raise everything up, kind of like you're a puppet being raised up to get all in alignment. And so that's a good point for when your alertness. It's better than coffee when I do acupressure or needles in that point in the morning. So another thing I've been doing, encouraging people obviously to drink water. Room temperature is best. Do breathing exercises. If anyone knows about gua sha or Graston technique, a lot of my patients have a home that they Amazon and different places, for like a couple bucks, they have these facial gua sha tools, and it's spelled GUASHA. And they have, you can use a ceramic soup spoon, those white spoons. You can get, I think for like $4 on Amazon, you can get a 4-pack of those. And you can use that on yourself for all this time. We can't get adjustments right now, and I would love to. And we can't get our massages and stuff, but there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that I'm sending to people that demonstrate exactly what to do and, and what they're doing. And that a 15-minute kind of self-care with that is really awesome.
Awesome.
So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm having people make kanjis too. So everyone's home cooking, right? So if you have a cup of grain, ideally rice, or I'm using a kind of barley that's really good for congestion in the body. And you take a cup of that, stick it in your crock pot, 10 cups of water on top, maybe a slice of fresh ginger, maybe a little salt, water or broth, and just leave it until it becomes like porridge, like gruel. And that becomes your base. So you can make that sweet afterwards. You can make it savory. You can add, fruit or toasted nuts for texture, but it's like a hypoallergenic food that doesn't take your energy away, and it gives you a nice warm meal. And it can be, with all the busyness that's going on, that can really be helpful. And what I do for patients is often send them herbal foods that, or herbs that are foods. Like we have hawthorn berry, which is great for cholesterol, for example. And for people who want to, drop some weight, or they tend to get puffy, we can do things that act in a diuretic way, but they're taking it in through a porridge that tastes good. So it's not like taking a bunch of pills. That's
very
another.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. You continue to amaze me with your wealth of knowledge and resources. Definitely very cool stuff. I knew a lot of what you do, but again, I definitely appreciate you sharing some great insight and tips. So tell us, how can somebody get a hold of you and what you're doing with the remote telemedicine? Can we put a link in underneath this?
We can put a link in. My email, it's elizabethliddell@verizon.net.
Okay.
And
that's 2 Ds, 2 Ls, right?
2 Ds, 2 Ls.
Cool.
People, yes, and you can put they can text me, they can email me. I'm in production of a new website with a telemedicine link. And all that kind of thing. But for right now, they can find me on Facebook under Elizabeth Liddell Acupuncture. With information, they can reach me through that. And I'm also on Instagram, Elizabeth Liddell Acupuncture, and they can see what I'm talking about. I post up to there, things for patients in terms of this is what I'm doing, this is what this formula looks like, and things like that. So
very cool. We'll certainly appreciate you sharing what you do and your resources, and definitely give Elizabeth the highest recommendation. She's a phenomenal person and provider. So great to have you join us here today. Appreciate your time and appreciate you sharing.
Back at you, Doc.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.